Panther of a funny color. I'm going to try to cover both positions from the two sheets. And the first one is going to be covered in the GC category, which just means it uses 4 strings for the scale. So we've got the 10-cent word for that scale is Aeolian minor. It is the 6th degree of the major scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la. If you play from la to la, that's what they call the Aeolian minor or natural minor. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so the first phrase is really easy to play in this position because it's on one string and it has notes that is not in the Aeolian scale and some that are. So it's just chromatic, just means that it plays up in half steps there. So there's the, and then we've got that's fun to play. It's all half-step approaches. These are half-step approaches from the bottom note. And here's a half-step approach from the top. Okay, so we got that first part. And then we got this. That's what I think is the most difficult part, is this arpeggio. Pinky, D string, second finger G string, roll it to the B string, first finger. Everything so far has been in 4th position, which means my first finger's been hanging out the 4th fret. But I'm going to switch to do this pentatonic scale with my first finger being at the 5th fret. It's kind of fun to play. So we got switch positions. Okay, here's the variation of that second part here, so it's the same thing. Okay, but this is the variation part right here. After you go, you can take that B string middle finger, roll it down to G, roll it up to B, roll it up to E, first finger. And that's the variation. So after you get right on that note, roll it, roll it, roll it. And then we repeat the first theme. And then this is a pentatonic pattern starting on the 5th fret. If you've got electric strings that are a little thinner, or thin strings on your acoustic guitar, you'll be able to bend this part. If the strings are too thick, you can slide into it. Okay, so again, that was for the 4-string position, which, if that wasn't enough of a headache for myself and everybody else, I later on put it in the EAD category, which just means it uses 3 strings to play the scale. So this one's going to use, it's going to be in position of 7th fret, and I'm going to use the D string, the G string, and the B string. Our bunnies get drunk. So one thing to consider while we play both these versions is that it crosses between the G and the B string tuning, which is tuned in the 3rd. Nothing else is tuned that way. So if you were to see this scale on something other than the bunnies or drunk strings, I'll do it down here on 88 Dynamite. But that last string there, look at where my first finger is. I had to compensate for the B string and I moved it up, and I'm just using my 2nd and 4th finger. So Okay, now this one, just even the opening theme's a little bit more difficult because you have to switch strings just to play the chromatic notes, and you got to reach. So here we have A string, 9, 10, and then you got to reach beyond the position of 7th fret and go to 6 on the D string and 7. So there's the intro. Okay, then we got. Oh my God, I can't believe I didn't play that wrong so far. So okay, and then we have D string, pinky, 3rd finger G string, 2nd finger G string, 1st finger G string. So there's that first theme, and here's the variation. Okay, so that was the same, but you're gonna, oops. So there's this triangular shape that happens between the bunnies get drunk strings. This is what it looks like across Easter bunnies get. It's all 1st finger. The reason why the shapes change is because of the tuning between the G and the B string. It's a 3rd, all the other strings are a 4th. So we got then we got the beginning theme again. And then let's see if I can play this part right. So if you have thin strings, or you can do so this 6th degree or 10-cent word aeolian mode, it comes from, maybe this is familiar to you, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la. 2, 4, 1, 2, 4. Start from there and you play from la to la, and you get the aeolian. Or it's the 6th, starting from the 6th note of the major scale. They call that a mode. And that concludes the Panther of the Funny Color. So if you got any questions, take a look at the sheets, and maybe I could address some other stuff on another video, but hopefully this will help you get through it and understand the sloppily written numbers on that piece of paper you've gotten.